A 67-year-old man woke up feeling perfectly fine one morning. He walked into his kitchen and prepared his usual heart-healthy breakfast, the exact kind of meal the system pushes on men and women over 60. 20 minutes later, his wife was frantically calling 911. His blood pressure had spiked to a catastrophic level, and he was completely blindsided. The absolute tragedy here is that the trigger was not a forgotten blood pressure pill or a heavy, salty breakfast. The culprit was a heavily marketed healthy food sitting in your pantry right now. It is something millions of you consume daily, believing you are doing the right thing for your body. As a cardiothoracic surgeon on the front lines, I have held beating human hearts in my hands. I see the devastating physical aftermath of these so-called healthy guidelines that are entirely outdated for anyone over the age of 60. You are desperately trying to maintain your independence because the fear of ending up bedridden or in a nursing home keeps you awake at night. Yet this single deceptive food creates chronic inflammation, brain fog, and intense fatigue. It is the silent morning habit that causes sudden, silent heart attacks while people go about their normal day. In a few moments, I will reveal exactly what this toxic everyday food is. I will also show you the exact simple replacement you must use tomorrow morning to protect your heart. My name is Dr. Marcus Caldwell. I am an active cardiothoracic surgeon, and over the past decade, I have stood on the front lines in the operating room, repairing the severe physical damage left behind by a healthcare system that too often treats you like a mere number on a chart. I stepped in front of this camera because I am deeply frustrated by the standard 7-minute consultations that leave you with nothing but another rushed prescription and absolutely no real answers about your health. If you believe your well-being deserves more than a hurried appointment, and if you want to finally take back the reins of your vitality, hit the subscribe button right now. Join our growing community of empowered individuals who refuse to be ignored or rushed. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss these crucial updates. I am here to give you the honest medical truths the rigid hospital protocols simply do not allow us to share. The shocking reality about that innocent-looking breakfast food is the perfect example of how these outdated rules have failed you, and understanding what it actively does to your blood vessels will completely change how you approach your kitchen. For decades, a massive and highly profitable narrative has been sold to men and women over the age of 60. The food industry, leaning on severely outdated nutritional guidelines, has plastered bright, reassuring, heart-healthy stamps across products that are quite literally putting your vascular system under siege. We are talking about the heavily processed instant oatmeals, the fortified breakfast bars, the low-fat yogurts, and the artificial sugar substitutes that fill the shelves of your local grocery store. You have been told that to protect your heart, manage your weight, and avoid the surgical table, you must consume these boxed, engineered foods. But what those rigid, decades-old guidelines fail to account for is how the senior body processes these highly refined ingredients and hidden chemical additives. Instead of nourishing your heart, these compounds trigger a massive spike in insulin, followed by a violent surge in blood pressure that puts terrifying, silent stress on your circulatory system. I need you to hear this loud and clear. If your blood pressure has been creeping up, if you are experiencing that heavy brain fog by mid-afternoon, or if you feel a growing exhaustion that makes you deeply afraid of losing your hard-earned independence, it is not your fault. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. You read the nutrition labels. You trusted the system. You followed the rushed advice handed out during those typical 7-minute clinic visits where nobody bothered to explain the underlying biology of aging to you. You are doing your absolute best, but you are fighting against a deeply flawed food environment and a medical framework that is simply too strapped for time to correct the misinformation. You are not failing. The system failed you by handing you a broken map. Now, we are going to throw that map away together. Because once you understand the actual physical mechanics of what these deceptive foods do inside your vessels after your 60th birthday, you will hold the exact key to supporting your biology naturally. When you cross the threshold of 60 years old, your biology undergoes a profound and undeniable shift. The rules of the physiological game change entirely. When you were 30, you could eat a bowl of instant oats packed with artificial fruit flavoring, heavy syrups, and hidden maltodextrin, and your pancreas would quietly release a perfectly measured amount of insulin. Your blood vessels were young, highly elastic, and could easily absorb the metabolic impact of that meal. But today, your senior system operates under a completely different set of biological laws. I want to take you inside the human body for a moment to understand exactly what is happening beneath your skin. As a cardiothoracic surgeon who has spent thousands of hours inside the human chest cavity, looking directly at the ascending aorta and the fragile coronary arteries, I can tell you exactly what this looks like in the real world. When I open a chest, the heart is right there, beating steadily against my gloved hands. It is a profound and humbling sight. The vessels feeding that heart are not lifeless tubes. They are deeply dynamic, living, breathing muscular tissues. The inside of every single artery in your body is coated with a microscopic, highly intelligent layer of cells known as the endothelium. Think of this endothelium not as rigid plumbing, but as a delicate, living layer of fine silk that coats the inside of your entire circulatory system. This silk lining is responsible for producing a miraculous, life-saving molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the chemical messenger that tells your blood vessels to relax, to expand, and to let the blood flow effortlessly throughout your body. It is your body's ultimate, natural defense against high blood pressure and arterial stiffness. But as we age, the baseline production of nitric oxide naturally slows down. That delicate silk lining becomes vastly more vulnerable to external damage. Now enter that heavily marketed, so-called heart-healthy breakfast sitting in your pantry. When you consume those highly processed grains, the artificial sweeteners, or those low-fat fruit yogurts loaded with hidden concentrated fructose, your digestive system breaks them down into raw glucose at an unnatural, violent speed. This sends a massive, tidal wave of sugar directly into your bloodstream. For a senior body, this sudden, aggressive surge of glucose is interpreted by your brain as a state of extreme metabolic emergency. Your pancreas panics. It forcefully floods your system with an overwhelming amount of insulin to drive that dangerous sugar out of the blood. But here is the devastating mechanical chain reaction that your busy physician simply does not have the 7 minutes to sit down and explain to you during a rushed clinic visit. High circulating levels of insulin and rapid blood sugar spikes act quite literally like microscopic shards of glass tearing across that delicate silk lining of your blood vessels. The endothelium becomes instantly inflamed, irritated, and structurally compromised. When this beautiful silk lining is under attack, it immediately halts the production of nitric oxide. Without nitric oxide, your blood vessels physically cannot relax. They spasm, they clamp down, they constrict forcefully and aggressively. At the exact same time, the massive insulin spike triggers your sympathetic nervous system, shifting your body into a fight-or-flight response. It signals your adrenal glands to release heavy doses of adrenaline and cortisol, the primary stress hormones. Your heart is suddenly commanded to pump much harder and much faster, but it is desperately trying to force blood through vascular pathways that have just violently clamped shut. The mechanical result is an immediate, silent, and catastrophic spike in your blood pressure. You might feel it as a sudden wave of morning fatigue, a lingering, heavy brain fog that clouds your thoughts, or perhaps a subtle tightness in your chest that you simply dismiss as getting older. But inside, your cardiovascular system is fighting a brutal, exhausting war just to keep you upright. A groundbreaking, peer-reviewed study observed exactly this terrifying phenomenon in older adults. The researchers discovered that consuming highly refined, quickly digested carbohydrates caused severe vascular constriction and measurable endothelial dysfunction within just 45 minutes of eating. Think about that time frame, 45 minutes. That is exactly the time it takes for you to finish your healthy breakfast, wash the dishes, and drive to the grocery store. Your blood pressure is skyrocketing while you are gripping the steering wheel. The conventional medical system hands you a prescription pad to artificially force your blood pressure down, but they never sit down and tell you to stop throwing those microscopic shards of glass into your bloodstream every single morning. They meticulously treat the symptom, the elevated number on the monitor, but they completely ignore the biological fire burning inside your arteries. And the truly terrifying part that keeps me awake at night is that this cellular damage is completely cumulative. Every single morning you eat that bowl of processed grains or drink that engineered shake, you are creating microscopic scar tissue over that silk lining. Over the years, this scar tissue thickens and hardens. The vessels lose their natural, youthful elasticity permanently. This is exactly what leads directly to the sudden cardiovascular events that rob vibrant seniors of their independence, dropping them into nursing homes heavily dependent on caretakers for the rest of their lives. You are not a victim of your chronological age. You are a victim of a dietary lie that is physically suffocating your circulatory system. You do not need to live in constant, paralyzing fear of a sudden stroke while you sleep, and you do not need to accept a bleak future where your quality of life is dictated by endless pharmacy refills. The senior body has an astonishing, miraculous capacity to heal and reverse the damage if you simply stop giving it the wrong instructions. The moment you stop attacking that delicate silk lining, your endothelium can begin to repair itself. Your natural nitric oxide production can safely resume. Your blood pressure can naturally stabilize, removing the terrifying mechanical strain on your heart and giving you back the boundless, clear-headed energy you thought was gone forever. There is a very specific, incredibly simple way to eat in the morning that completely bypasses this dangerous insulin spike. It is a biological workaround that protects your endothelium, keeps your vessels wide open, and feeds your brain the exact high-quality fuel it needs to eliminate that heavy fog. It requires no expensive supplements, no drastic lifestyle changes, and absolutely no complicated recipes. You just need to switch out that toxic morning habit for a specific, natural routine that takes exactly 3 minutes to prepare. And I am going to show you exactly how to do it right now. The solution is not found in another pharmacy bottle, and it certainly does not require you to undergo invasive procedures. The answer lies in working with your senior biology rather than violently fighting against it. We are going to completely bypass that dangerous morning insulin spike and give your delicate vascular silk lining exactly what it needs to heal, repair, and naturally lower your blood pressure. I am going to give you a precise 4-step morning protocol. It costs absolutely nothing, it is incredibly simple to implement, and it will radically change the way your cardiovascular system functions for the rest of the day. Grab a pen and write this down. Step 1 is what I call the endothelial flush, and it begins the exact moment your feet hit the floor in the morning. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated and your blood is slightly thicker, making your heart work harder right out of the gate. Before you even look at the coffee maker, I want you to drink 1 large glass of room temperature water mixed with a tiny, literal pinch of high-quality Celtic sea salt. Now, I know exactly what you are thinking. The outdated medical guidelines have terrified you about salt for decades. But the dangerous salt is the heavily bleached, chemically processed sodium hidden inside those box dinners and fast foods. Pure, mineral-rich sea salt contains magnesium and potassium, the exact essential electrolytes your heart needs to maintain a steady, calm electrical rhythm. This simple morning flush rehydrates your blood, instantly reducing the mechanical friction inside your vessels and signaling to your endothelium that it is safe to begin producing nitric oxide. Step 2 is the absolute elimination of the morning sugar wave. We are throwing out the instant oats, the fortified cereals, and the low-fat, high-sugar yogurts. Instead, you are going to fuel your body with pristine, high-quality fats and proteins. I am talking about pasture-raised eggs cooked in real butter, or perhaps half an avocado with a handful of walnuts. When you consume fats and proteins, your pancreas does not panic. There is absolutely zero aggressive insulin spike. Your blood sugar remains a beautiful, flat, steady line. Because there is no microscopic glass tearing through your bloodstream, your vascular silk lining remains perfectly calm. The endothelium effortlessly releases nitric oxide, allowing your vessels to remain wide open, soft, and relaxed. You will feel a profound difference in your energy levels simply because your heart is no longer fighting a war of resistance against constricted vessels. Step 3 is a powerful 60-second biological hack that you must perform right before you take your first bite of breakfast. We need to manually turn off your body's stress response. I want you to sit at your kitchen table, close your eyes, and inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a count of 7. Then exhale slowly and forcefully through your mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this exact cycle 4 times. This specific breathing pattern mechanically stimulates your vagus nerve, which acts as the master brake pedal for your entire nervous system. It immediately halts the production of cortisol and adrenaline. It forces your body out of the fight or flight mode and drops you straight into a state of deep, restorative rest and digest. By spending just 60 seconds calming your nervous system before you eat, you are actively commanding your blood vessels to dilate, ensuring that your blood pressure remains beautifully stable while you digest your food. Step 4 is the arterial sweep. Do not sit down in your recliner to watch the morning news immediately after you finish eating. Instead, I want you to take a gentle 10-minute walk. You do not need to speed walk, and you do not need to break a sweat. You can simply walk around your living room, pace in your garden, or take a casual stroll down your driveway. When you move your body immediately after a meal, your large leg muscles act like giant metabolic sponges. They physically absorb any free-floating glucose directly from your bloodstream without requiring a single drop of insulin. This simple 10-minute movement acts as an absolute safeguard, sweeping your blood clean and ensuring your delicate endothelium remains utterly protected from any lingering inflammation. This four-step routine is not just a temporary fix. This is the exact science of how you reverse the damage and support your biology at a profound cellular level. When you consistently protect your endothelium from those violent sugar spikes, your body initiates a miraculous healing cascade. The microscopic scar tissue stops forming. Your arteries slowly begin to regain their youthful, dynamic flexibility. Your brain receives a steady, uninterrupted flow of oxygen-rich blood, permanently lifting that heavy, exhausting brain fog. You finally reclaim the vibrant, steady energy that allows you to play with your grandchildren, tend to your garden, and live your life with total autonomy. You are no longer a passive participant in your healthcare. You have the knowledge and the power to take control of your daily habits. You do not have to accept the narrative that declining health and endless prescriptions are just a normal part of getting older. You deserve quality of life, dignity, and absolute independence. Write these 4 steps down today. Take this exact protocol with you to your next clinic visit. Show it to your physician and ask your doctor if your current blood pressure medication is still necessary as you begin to actively heal your vascular system through these powerful daily habits. Advocate for yourself because nobody else is going to do it for you. You are stepping entirely out of the broken system and stepping into a future where you hold the power. Now, I need to be absolutely clear with you because your safety is always my highest priority. The information I share in this video is for general educational purposes and to give you the true power of knowledge. I am a doctor, but I am not your personal doctor in the room with you. Please do not stop taking any of your prescribed medications or cancel any scheduled procedures without speaking to your own healthcare provider first. Instead, I want you to use this information to aggressively advocate for yourself. Take these notes directly to your next appointment and use them to have a much better, deeper conversation with your physician about healing the root causes of your health. We are building something incredibly powerful here, but I cannot do this alone. The conventional medical system is simply too massive and moves far too slowly to save everyone. That means we have to look out for each other. I want you to take a moment and think about your spouse, your sibling, or that dear friend who is constantly battling high blood pressure, feeling exhausted, and feeling completely ignored by their doctors. They are likely waking up tomorrow morning and eating the exact same toxic food, entirely unaware of the silent damage it is doing to their heart. I am asking you to share this video with them right now. You have the profound ability to change the trajectory of their health and perhaps even protect them from a devastating cardiac event. If you found truth in what we discussed today and you are ready to stop being treated like a mere number on a clinical chart, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of empowered men and women who are actively taking back their independence and demanding real biological answers. But your work is not quite finished for today. Now that your morning routine is actively protecting your delicate blood vessels, we need to address a hidden threat that happens the moment you close your eyes. There is a very common sleeping position that quietly starves your brain of oxygen and dramatically increases your risk of a nighttime stroke. I have placed a video right here on your screen that reveals exactly what this dangerous habit is and how to effortlessly correct it tonight. Click that video right now and let us continue protecting your incredible senior body. I will see you over there.